are we within the tolerable limits of what we feel the community will shoulder for, again, not only the tax levy funded projects, but these are gonna impact water rates, sewer rates.
Before budget.
Well,
That's what we said last year.
Well, okay.
Before you bond, really, this is July of next year.
I mean,
But it's set by
hold
what we
on,
did.
I don't see any of the 2021 stuff really changing. All the stuff we're talking about changing is farther out.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 2021 is, in terms of what we're bonding for, I think we're all good on that, right? So, I mean, again, so for budget purposes, we're set for budget purposes. I kind of see the long-range plan, it does have an input into budget, but it is our capital planning, and it is, like you said, our financial planning. And if we have to, come back to it in August or something instead of June, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with that. I don't know what the rest of the board feels like. Yes.
Did you want feedback tonight about prioritizing if we needed to push something off?
For 2020,
Yeah, I didn't know if that was gonna be an issue.
I think we're okay.
Are you talking about because of the station and then we added so did we add more costs in 2020?
Well,
By
we do
bumping up the police
have,
station?
No.
No?
we do have,
For capital?
we do
Yeah.
have $1 million in there for phase 3 of the police station in Wilson Drive, phase 2. And I'm not sure where we need that.
So you're not, that wasn't part of tonight, is the next long-range financial plan gonna be, are we gonna get a question of what do you wanna cut? How do we come up with 2 million or something like that? Or are we don't see that as a need this year?
It's a great point. I would like to know because it would lower, are we gonna bond for, is that correct? If you put it in that line.
Well, again, I'm happy to run the numbers on this schedule if the board feels comfortable that they can interpret those numbers within the context of any proposed interim changes looking forward as we get through these other analysis. If you would rather wait until a time that you've had some additional discussions, I can wait. But it'd take me at least 3 weeks to
But you're only
lead
doing
time.
2021, right?
Hmm?
You're only doing this first column.
No, it's an entire,
But I guess before our budgeting, I mean, like what would be pertinent would be the first column and. could you
Right, the
run-
first column leads into the budget, but, I mean, what he's saying is, he's gonna run all the schedules, and I agree, I don't think it's worth running it for 2 different, I think we should settle on a plan and then run the numbers after we've settled on it.
because for budgeting purposes, as long as we come up with, again, when we bond in 2020, that doesn't affect the 2020 budget. It's in 2021 when we have to start paying that back. So we're set from a budget perspective, it's just a matter of project coordination and beginning, do we need to do some engineering and things of that nature,
Yeah,
so.
But you're setting your project, you're buying something. Even if it's not bonded, you're engineering, you're buying it, you're setting it in stone.
But again, within the context
That
of preparing
helps.
all the supporting schedules that go with the finished long-range plan,
I mean, to
I
me,
sense that it would be better to wait until you've had another
I
discussion.
agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
happy.
do wanna mention that this million though, because I know once we say this is it for 2020, 2021, then then we're saying, go ahead and bond for
Right,
this.
that's my
I don't
point.
think we need to
And then
bond
you
for
start
either of
moving
those
money around, so you have
projects.
excess bonding, and I hate that.
That's what I was thinking.
Let's take them both out, okay?
Which 10C and 11?
I'm willing to take them out, why don't we talk about this next time, or I can just say you guys can talk about it, but where are you gonna put it? Let's just put it that way, because I'm not comfortable just, my own personal opinion is not comfortable just taking it out and not putting a placeholder somewhere. So for that year, I'm very comfortable, I just wanted to share that, I'm sorry, I was supposed to go at 8, so.
Is it
Bye.
the first?
I know, thanks for a great time, okay.
wanted it just to spend it, I'm not sure
Well, why don't we can just move it to 2022, we can just move it out,
Just
so
move
we're
it
not,
out.
it's not in the bonding plan.
Right,
It's
Those
just-
are
that's-
general,
And
they
we
don't.
can
Right,
consider
that's
it, we
like-
can consider it next, in
Right,
20.
and
Yeah.
then, like, pushing it out, I mean,
Yeah.
that-
Let's
that-
move it
that
to
I feel
the
comfortable
next
with.
Yeah, we're
off
not
year
bothering.
cycle.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
definitely.
We're just not bonding
2023
now.
And,
Yes.
and not just
Yes.
bonding for it without any.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Plan.
we're
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
we're
okay,
not.
yeah.
That,
Okay,
that
so-
feels good.
So let me add a looming note at the end of the discussion.
Uh-huh.
If you do not complete the police facility in a certain amount of time, do
Oh.
improvements
You can't bond.
outside of police facilities requires, referendum.
If you what?
If you want to bond for additional improvements that do not relate to public works or police or library facilities, that requires a referendum. So initially, this was all part of the,
Oh,
again, I don't want to
it's still
rehash
the overall.
the last 5 years, but
No,
this was part of
a
a,
good part, this is a
this
good
was a
thing
part of
of
an
our
integrated project that was originally envisioned to happen at
Oh,
once.
time,
And then it got,
Pieced out,
Pieced
which is
apart.
understandable, phased.
and, you know, now we're gonna effectively finish the police facility
It's the-
next year. So we would need to, at the very least, consult bond council if we did it in 2021. But if you push it past that, the police station's done.
And I'm not really comfortable leaving our public, our first responders like in the lurch for that long either.
Well, I don't, it
I don't
doesn't,
think that
Doesn't
that's.
That's
so the
just
police station will be
Mm-hmm.
done. But I'm just, I just wanted
Start
full
pushing it out.
disclosure is that this
Yeah,
may
that's
either
very
require referendum or
Which has
it
a
would
cost.
be funded through tax levy, direct tax levy.
And restrooms cost money.
Or
What would be the,
So
Kid
you're
closer
saying
fund.
if we bonded for it as part of the, in conjunction with the garage, that we could do that, but if we separate it, we have to referendum.
I would feel comfortable saying that's finishing the police station.
Well, it's doing the same thing, it's a
Well,
community space under either scenario.
I'm just trying to give you the best advice I can.
Right,
There's
we
a,
could
there's a
choose to
gray
refer
line you
either
start to
way.
cross and
I mean,
when you move past the completion of the police station, I think you move across the gray line.
Okay, well.
So I'm just sharing that, we don't,
Especially
no
if we lease it out
discussion
to
for
a
night.
private
Private
entity.
entity.
So
We
they
want to be cognizant of that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
we-
and I just, because, you know, part of this is also just dialogue to make sure that we're all, you know, have the same level of understanding of how we move forward, because when you finish this building, and I intend to finish it with you, we're gonna finish. Cause that's what we do with projects. We finish them, and when we walk away, I want everyone to have a really good, understanding and comfortability level about how we got to where we got. Cause you guys are doing a really good job, you know.
Well, we're not really, because we're way over budget on this project. I mean, this project has been, I mean, it's not, it was the combination of the different village managers and being passed and nobody really paying attention and watching it. But we originally proposed a 1.8 billion renovation budget and we're gonna be at like 3 million. So, I mean, I don't consider it a real positive.
What, so, it's funny, so when you, so you took my comments as reflecting on cost. And my comments were reflecting on the discussion we had the last time when we reviewed plans together and this meeting that you had this evening. Like, I've just seen, you know, we're just pulling off of a second meeting with a board who's trying to do a really good job evaluating how we work with how we invest in our public spaces and our infrastructure. So please know that, I think you're doing a good job to wanna be a good steward of that. And that discussion gets you to an end point. But I wanna finish it with you because to your point, trustee Amenta, I don't work on things that span 15 years. That's not my,
Like sewer project?
well, those out a
Those are
little.
like-
Yeah.
Those are huge.
So where do we need to get on, I'm just trying to kind of consolidate and summarize, where do we need to get on this tonight? What decision point are we looking to reach? Are we looking to reach, do we push it off or not? I mean, Mark, you raised a point about finishing it. I mean, what exactly decision point do we wanna get out of this meeting?
I think one is, you know, what we're telling Mark that we're gonna bond for next year.
Yes.
And whether we include the community room in there or not, because we haven't really planned for it, and
Well,
we're not sure there's a need for it.
if I could just add to that,
Thank you, Leanne.
it's not so
Thank
much
you.
of whether you actually bond for it, but are the numbers that you want me to run up gonna reflect that you may bond for it? So those, to me, those are two big, significantly different things. You know, again, we've got a little mini worksheet that says $1 million change is worth this month. But do you wanna make that adjustment on the fly, or do you wanna, and have me work up the schedule as is, and then if something's changed, we talk about it within the context of adjustments? Or if things take longer to develop, we talk about it in context of next year's refresh? Or would you prefer me to wait until you've had a little more discussion to perhaps narrow this down, and especially if you're gonna compress, if you're really talking about compressing?
Right, it could really.
Because that will have a big impact on, a much bigger impact on the number than shuffling. Shuffling has a nominal impact.
Right.
Unless
Compressing,
it's between revenue and GL. Right.
that would be correct.
Yeah.
I just realized Leanne left, but it occurred to me that our request to compress or to explore the timeline and the schedule could result in an engineering, billing our engineer into that contract, the $90,000 contract. And I just don't know what we're getting into with how big a task that would be and what it would cost us. So it's not, it might be very money well spent, because we get to a better place. But I just wanna say that occurred to me, that every time we ask for something to be redone, it is a cost to the consultant.
I feel like we're here for policy and this is the kind of question that I think we are putting in our hours and, time to say, how's the community gonna really feel about the schedule that's presented, and should we be looking at alternatives? I mean, I just feel like, if we were just gonna, I just feel like it's an appropriate discussion to have. So Mark I think what Mark is saying is, I don't wanna waste his time running all the numbers for long-range financial plan if we're gonna make changes.
And it sounds like we might.
It sounds like we might, so I'm not sure what that does to your
Well,
schedule.
and I can defer as long as we have a common understanding that I've got a lot of other things going on, the further we defer, and that
Towards budget.
I will make my best effort to get that final document put together without putting off the annual budget.
Well, I mean, I think like last year, I'm fine revisiting long-range financial plan after we adopt budget, frankly. I'm fine doing that.
I just wanna get a sense of the group of, if
because
you're fine
there's
with that, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
Obviously,
because
scheduling becomes a little bit of an issue.
What?
We've already, the budget for 2020, 2021, that's what we're discussing, and that's already set. So, I think in my mind, that does sort of make sense to wait to do that, to sort of prioritize budget, and then come back to us after that.
If that,
That's what you're saying, right?
if that was the desire, then I would suggest that you take that cow that we already have scheduled on June 17th it would give us a little bit more time to get some semblance of information required, and then come back at that meeting, if that is okay with you.
Yeah.
And then we
that's
could,
fine.
and then you would be able to provide us with some direction, so that when we look at what we need to accomplish in 2020, we can start planning for that.
Yes.
I think that's great.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes
the other
sense.
thing, we don't wanna
Yeah.
push into our planning time either.
the only thing, like I said, we're at significantly less, well, 9 million less. This plan is less than last year's plan, so, once you run those numbers, then I think we're gonna see a very different picture with the debt stabilization fund. Like I guess you could say it'll just last a lot longer than we had been thinking.
Yeah.
So, it just seems like there's
Well,
room here to
I
add
would make
some-
every effort to have this information together so that, because again, please keep in mind, the debt stabilization that we need for 2020 is not gonna be impacted by anything here. It's based
Right.
on the 2018 bonding and 2018 payments.
Okay.
You know, so those numbers we can have available, but it's that outlook, looking ahead. And again, you know, at what levels is the group comfortable, with certain strategies and project implementations, right? So I've got time on that, as long as, you know, we obviously know what projects we're gonna bring forward in the 2020 budget. And I don't know that I've heard anything significant about the 2020 project specifically, because we'll have bonding discussions on the 2021 projects next year as well, because we're gonna continue to refine those numbers. I mean, the only thing that I can contemplate here is the DPW yard wall, which is, I mean, that's step one of any future proposal to do, even if you split the yard into different operational standards or move it, you still need to preserve the integrity of that property line.
Is that what the 275 is, just for the wall?
That's the 150,
Oh,
in
that's the
2020
wall?
only.
The wall?
The lot is 125 in 2021. Combined, they would be 250 for bonding, but again, from a staff perspective, we're gonna be bringing the 2020 projects forward, and then we're gonna put together a anticipated 2021 number, which is a budgetary representation of what we think at the current time is gonna be offset by borrowed proceeds. So from a budget perspective, it'll be neutral up until the point that we have to issue the bonds. So that is coming a year from now.
Right, we're gonna borrow in 2020 for the 2021 projects. But you're
2020
saying we
and
have- But
2020.
you're saying we have a year before we actually have to issue the bonds.
Right,
Okay.
right.
I see
So-
what you're